All right, welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We'll be diving right into our phone-in segment, and this morning we'll be talking about our elections and the changes we want to see to make them fairer, more transparent and truly representative of our voices. Now, after the challenges many of us witnessed in the 2023 general elections, from confusing voter identification processes to delays and doubts around result transmissions, the National Assembly is now considering important reforms to the Electoral Act. Now, for millions of Nigerians, voting is more than just ticking a box. It's a chance to have a say in the future of the country. That's why proposals are on the table to replace the current voter card system with more flexible options, like using your national ID or even a passport. Now, imagine how much easier it could be to vote if technology allowed you to download your voter card electronically and use a secure system that works for everyone, including those in remote areas. Now, transparency is also key. The reforms want presiding officers to send election results electronically as well as manually to help stop the confusion and mistrust we've seen before. And there are plans to toughen penalties to anyone caught manipulating results, because every vote counts and every vote deserves to be counted correctly. There's also talks about extending voting rights to people in correctional centers and even the possibility of mandatory voting, a bold idea that says everyone should take part in shaping our democracy. Behind the scenes, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is being pushed to be more independent and accountable with less political influence, so we can trust the process and the people running it. So today we want to hear from you. What changes do you believe will make elections better? What barriers have you faced when voting? Or what worries do you have about elections and election fairness? Call in right now on the numbers displayed on your screen and send us a WhatsApp message as well. We'd like to hear from you. We'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions, because at this point there are key issues that need to be looked at when it comes to the elections and when it comes to voting as well, so that Nigerians can have it easy. Maimuna, which of these issues that have been put forth do you think should be at the forefront when they're looking at the reforms?
Transparency and accountability.
All right, and the reason being?
Reason being is that, Nigerians want to be able to know that, their vote counts. I mean, people will tell you that the reason why they would not even, exercise their civil right is because at the end of the day, they know that, their votes will not, be counted or be acknowledged. So transparency is very important when it comes to, elections in our country. We have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, very well,
Good morning.
This is the environment from Yola.
All right, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead with your thoughts.
There is something with our mindset that we have to get away from. Why do we always believe that it is you at the helm of affairs who changes things in elections? Those people who are being forced or who are forced to rewrite results, are they not Nigerians? Are they not Nigerians? Why is it that it's only in Africa, so Africa that we're always talking about election, not even development? Why? We want to make this law, we want to do this, we want to do that, but the very people making the laws know how they went to the National Assembly. We're in this country, when somebody who helped the Senate president get to the Senate is jailed but is walking free on the street today. So what are they talking about? What are we talking about, please? What are we really talking about in this country? Can't we just do things and move on? Can't we be sincere to ourselves? All these laws they are making, they're just making laws because they think it's going to help them win elections. There's no ideology in this country, so who is going to vote for who? What are you voting for? This is what is disturbing Nigerians. There's no ideology that anybody is following. It's as simple as that, Hauwa. It's as simple as that. All these laws they are making, they're just wasting their time. I've never seen anywhere in this world where in every election cycle there's a law. How? Where? Let's stop this. repetitive cycle we repeat ourselves, we waste money doing things over and over again. Let's correct our mindset and let's make sure that we love this country. That's the only way our election will be peaceful and successful. Any law, anything we do, let's talk about it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for your input. Most Nigerians, their biggest concern is not necessarily, well, they're great concerns, but not necessarily when it comes to election day, but what the political parties are carrying, what they're doing, and how they put themselves out there. Do you have the ideology, and do you have Nigerians' best interests at heart? Fine and good, it is quite understandable that it is important when it comes to elections that each and every process is, put forth and transparent as well. Accountability being upheld right there. All right, let's take our next caller.
We have Ade on the line. Good morning, Ade. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Hauwa. Good morning, Maimuna.
Good morning,
and
Ade. Thank you for
good
joining
morning,
us.
Nigeria.
Good morning.
What changes do we need to see? We have a lot of changes we need, and the National Assembly are trying to make some laws. But what I want to see in Nigeria is a law that allows independent candidates, somebody without any party, that can run for election. We have it here, and they have it in US as well. So you can run election independently. That will reduce the corruption. That's number one. They are passing a law that the election should be transmitted electronically in a country where there is no power, where there is no light. There's some law you make that will be laughable. Because what if there's election and the grid collapse, as the grid normally collapse? What happened then? And there's a law, so they will postpone election, and they can't repair it. They can sabotage it. The politicians, you can't trust them. So the only thing I'm looking at is that because there's no trust, and the poverty doesn't help the situation, because people are hungry, and when the politician comes with some money, they will take it and sell their vote, sell their future. So only God can take control of Nigeria politics or whatever, election, because there is no amount of law they will do. They are the same people that made this law, that go to their polling booth and change it, and carry mobile police, carry talk, do every sort of thing for them to win. What can INEC do? Okay, INEC have staff, but the staff they are going to use will be youth copper and some hardcore staff, which they are not permanent staff. And if a politician now offer them money, they will compromise. So, but unless they offer God, that's the only thing that can save us. In my country, I'm talking of Nigeria now. Because, can you believe it? Yes, you give the paper, you use pencil to cross it. And you see some two ladies only sitting down there, and you drop it in the box. Nothing can touch it, nothing can change it. No police, nothing. Only two ladies, maximum three. They will be there in a room every three, you see them. You go there, they use the hall. So they will say, drop it there, you drop it, you go your way. No queue, nothing. Because they will be there from morning to 10 p.m. one day. And the election is done. So I'm praying we get to that level. So we don't need talk, we don't need security, we don't need to shut down the country. No. Anything about electronic system, we are not right for it now with me, because our power system is not okay. So when they are making, or they should think twice that they are comfortable people. What about the rural area that they are poor? There are some places in my state, those states, 10 years there is no light. So what do you do in that area? So they should make a law that makes sense, and we should fear of God in our mind. That's what I want to see. But only God can take control of the situation of Nigeria, and God will take control. God bless Nigeria. Good morning.
Good morning, Ade. Thank you for calling
Good morning.
in. One thing is to, have this good ideology by our politicians and also, the electoral institution. Another thing is implementation, because we have seen over the years that, these reforms are good when you go through them and you're trying to understand really how these reforms will be able to shape our electoral system. But then one major problem I always say is implementation. When we come to implementing these reforms, we get stuck. And I don't know what exactly the problem is when it comes to, making sure that these reforms are being implemented to the letter. Is it that, they make these promises and at the end of the day, they forget the things they have said. Exactly. We have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, Hauwa and the sister. God
Good
bless
morning.
you people.
Good morning.
I'm calling from Port Harcourt. My name is Do Good.
Thank you,
Good morning, Do
You
Good.
see, two of you this morning thinking about good for this country, which is what's supposed to be, how to improve our electoral process. And as we are planning to do it well now, people in power are somewhere to planning to thwart every of their plans so that they remain in power. That's what is going on. And you can see in polling, if you have been in polling booth in election day, you see the lions and tigers sitting by the corners, them doing nothing. They are there to kill and to destroy. And the police is there backing them up for the other atrocity them. Anything when they commit there, you can't arrest them, they can't carry to the court, nothing can do about it. Even if you go to court, what do they ask court to do is what court will do. So eventually, I don't know where we're heading to, my dear sister. I don't know where we're heading to. I don't know. Anything they plan, no matter how the law be, to setting the electoral process. Some people are saying that to thwart it and to spoil it so that they must remain in power. So, like the last speaker, only God, this God, we don't see God, we call God. Only God will release his anger on the people pulling Nigeria down. Only God will do it. Thank you. God bless you all.
All right, thank you very much, Do Good, for that. The biggest question that most people would ask is, why is it so hard to transmit results with immediate effect after the elections are being conducted? Let it be a seamless transition. Let it be a seamless transmission so that Nigerians can see that everything is transparent. And you said transparency, accountability is quite important. Let them know that this is what it is being put out there on the platform. Everyone would see and know that it is credible, because when it is, would I say, hidden and extended before the results are being transmitted, there are lots of questions that go through Nigerians' minds, and they ask questions and they think that it is not going to be for their own benefit. Let's take our next caller. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Maimuna. Good morning, Hauwa. How about you people?
We're doing
very
fine,
well,
thank
thank you.
you.
Good
What is your
morning.
name and where are you
Good
calling
morning.
from?
Good morning, Nigeria. Dr. Godwin.
Good morning,
That's who
Dr. Godwin.
I'm calling from Maiduguri.
Thank you
All
for
right, good
calling
morning.
in.
Thank you for joining us. Go ahead with your
Sometimes
thoughts.
I'm fascinated about the hypocrisy in this country. We have had series of electoral reforms, very wonderful electoral reforms. Look at the electoral reforms under President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. Look at the electoral reforms under President Goodluck Jonathan. Look at the last electoral reform that were used to conduct the last election. So fundamentally good electoral reforms that made the electoral process simple. But the players were the one that frustrated people, frustrated the reforms. These politicians sitting in Abuja there, in National Assembly, Senate, ministers and all of these people, they are the ones that are the problem. The problem is not with the electoral reform. These are the people who are our problem. I agree with the other speakers who have spoken. See, we cannot continue in this kind of hypocrisy. Now the National Assembly is floating the issue of electoral reform, INEC electoral reform again. What electoral reform are we going to do? When we have done electoral reform and they refuse to follow, they will say go to court. Go to court. Is it not what they have been doing? We have had wonderful electoral reforms. These people should allow Nigerians to be free. I want to assure you that there is nothing that is going to come out of this electoral reform they are talking about. No matter what they will do, at the end of the day, during election period, there will be another glitch that will take place. There will be another glitch. So this is the plan thing. These people are just playing with us. They are just, because they know that they have the money, they are controlling the military and the force, so they use it against us. Just imagine, we can't even express ourselves. If not because we have the privilege of calling here, nobody would allow us to talk. When we want to come out in the street and express our grievances, what do? They shoot us. The same politicians, they don't listen to us, they shoot us. So they keep wasting our time, wasting people's energy and resources. So I won't blame any Nigerian who will not come out to vote in the next general election, because we don't have trust in Nigerian democracy, we don't have trust in Nigerian electoral process. There's nothing, even the INEC chairman sitting there, he would want to do what is right. I assure you, that man will, not naturally, he would want to do what is right. But the forces, the political force, will not allow him. In fact, they will even be the one to tell you, "Oga, we brought you here." Just imagine the kind of screening that was done. Look at the statement the chief screener, who is our Senate president, asking him, have you been an advocate, or have you represented Labour Party or PDP in the presidential election before? Is that what he was supposed to be asking somebody who is coming to head an umpire like INEC? I was thinking they will be asking him the measures he has in place to make sure that elections in Nigeria are conducted properly. And look at the response when the man say, okay, no, he has not been part of any of these things. He said, okay. You just imagine that. Don't you see what is already on ground? So what electoral reforms? Please, thank you very much. Nigeria, let's leave this hypocrisy. Thank you.
Thank you for calling in and sharing your thoughts. However, when I made mention of accountability and transparency, another thing we should be concerned about is, prosecution of electoral offenders. People that have, broken the law during elections, rigging, vote buying. We are yet to know if these offenders are being brought to book, if they have been, prosecuted based on the crimes that they have committed. Going by the last election that happened, we saw cases of vote buying people that were arrested and, brought out for other people to know that, okay, these people have been caught. But we're yet to find out
offenses because there are no consequences.
Exactly. So these are part of the issues we also need to address, because people that are going into the electoral system to cause chaos should be punished at the end of the day, so that other people would also learn from their mistake to know that I am not supposed to do this.
Absolutely.
To jeopardize the integrity, the love that I have for my country. But then we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Maimuna. Good morning, Hauwa. Good morning, Trust TV. Good morning, Nigeria. This is Shetima Kujima calling from Maiduguri.
Good morning, Shetima. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Well, about the electoral reform, as some of speakers have said, we have seen three major reforms, but nothing is coming out. If you see election of today is worse than the election of yesterday. This is how Nigeria goes. I heard Adamu was saying it was only God that will intervene and make a change, which is absolutely true. Because these people, this reform that they are talking about, they are always trying to confuse we the voters and to get away how they will manipulate the system. That is not the reform that they are doing it with insincerity. In the whole of the reform process, if you see, there is no room for independent candidates. And time has come that we want an independent candidate in the electoral process of Nigeria. And you will be wondering, all the time I used to say this, I was wondering, honestly speaking, how can a ruling party will be sweeping up all the seats that provided in a local government election? Even that ruling party in that state is not doing anything, is not delivering to the people, but yet they will clear all the seats. They will win all the seats. How comes? How comes? We have to ask ourselves. These elections that is taking place in Nigeria, they are just drawing it. They are not doing the real election. But with God, provided we have learned, and we know that we have been, we have been cheated, and we have started taking our prayers to Almighty Allah. Very sure, Almighty Allah will intervene, and we are going to see change by God's willing. And also, we are calling Nigerians all the time to divorce this money politics. Please and please, my brothers and sisters, you should catch your desire for money. Look after your rights. Look after the betterness of the country, so that vote for a credible person. That is why we are always talking about this independent candidate. You see, these political parties that we are seeing, I will continue to be saying it. I without fear of contradiction. They are not political parties. They are just parading themselves as a political party. But if you look at their qualities and their system of establishment, they are far from political parties. You see, that's the problem that we are having. We don't have political parties, the real political parties. It's a group of people operating for their interests, and they call themselves political parties, and they get registered from the INEC. So INEC needs to wake up. Let's make this reform reality. Make this reform effective, so that we can see change on our political system in Nigeria. Thank you so much, and have a nice day.
All right, thank you very much, Shatima, for that. Maimuna, looking at reforms, we know that there has been reforms that have been implemented during elections and all of that. But aside from implementation of reforms, if they are put forth, implementing them properly so that they go or they work seamlessly when it comes to election day. Let's take our next caller. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, good morning. This is Mr. Paul. I'm calling from Macaulay.
Good morning, Mr. Paul.
Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. What I wanted to say, I think Shetima has said part of it, but I will still say the one I want to say for my own idea. Concerning this electoral reform in Nigeria, I want to ask, is the local government elections also in this reform? Because I don't know if it's not in the reform. I think that is even one of the major parts I think it should be reformed. Local government elections. That is the closest government to the general public. That if things is normal there, everybody that are the grassroots will benefit. Because the way that one is being run, I think the state INEC offices are just there to employ some people so that there will be job creation. They have no duty. They have no job, but it's good. So that at least people will have where to go in the morning, and other 30 days they can earn their salaries and then live their normal life the way others are living. Ordinarily, that state INEC offices, they are doing nothing. That local government, that state INEC offices that are conducting local elections, they have no job. They are just there. So I don't know if this reform they are doing is affecting them directly or indirectly. I don't know. Because the governor will just, all his party, that anybody that is contesting on his party, even before the election, you know you are going to be the winner. That is how it works in Nigeria. I don't know if that is how they do it in other parts of the country. That if you are in APC and APC is the sitting governor, if you are contesting under APC, automatically you have become a local government chairman. That is one. Number two, I want you to ask, is the local government chairman and the councillor not to spend 4 years in office? Because you'll be hearing about how do they call them? These people they will appoint, they will spend 2 years or 1 year. After 1 year, local government chairman will come in. After 2 years, they will tell them to go. They will put a caretaker. I don't know. Is that how they do it in other parts of the world, or that is just Nigerian style? Or is it constitutional? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe when your guests come on board after this our call, those questions can be thrown to them so that we can be enlightened. Because I don't see anything that they are reforming. This is not affecting the local government elections too. Thank you very much. That was my take for this morning.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Paul, for that. Your questions have been noted. Let's move on to the WhatsApp messages we have for this morning. This one is from Adamu Muhammad Usman from Kafang Hausa in Jigawa State. And he says, good morning to everyone. The election reform can't be in place and perfect for the benefit of Nigerians if, one, the body is not truly honest, purely and actually independent without any interference. Number two, fear of God in the minds of the INEC officials, political leaders, judiciary and law enforcement agencies. Number three, let every Nigerian be patriotic. Number four, let the INEC have good and enough facilities and let their welfare be good. All right, thank you very much, Adamu Mohammed, for your contribution.
We have another message from Dr. St. Livingstone Ekanem from Jos, and it says, good morning, Trust TV and Daybreak crew. The reforms are welcome development as the only constant thing in life is change. However, the greatest reform that can fix most of our issues is the reform of the mind. When public service is not about personal aggrandizement and wealth accumulation, but primarily about service delivery. When the motive for wanting to be in public service is to serve the people, politicians won't subvert the processes to win by all means, but as long as public service is seen as the easiest way to accumulate wealth and escape poverty, no law will stop politicians from subverting the processes, because at the end of the day, it's still Nigerians that will implement these laws. Remove Nigerians from this geographic territory and bring in Americans or even Ghanaians, the result will be different. So our mindset is a problem, not lack of laws. Thank you for sending in your message this morning.
All right, I believe we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you for joining us. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is Philip. I'm calling from Jalingo.
Good morning, Philip. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, I could remember for the 2023 election, there was this reform that vote could be transmitted electronically. All of a sudden, 4 hours before the election, the former INEC chairman just came up and said they are not going to use that. So I want to ask, or I want to ask our lawmakers, they should enforce that law. They should remove that clause that says it is not mandatory upon INEC to transmit election results electronically. By the time when they remove that, then from the polling unit we can transmit our results, and I think that will clear every issue that will be having. So that is my call. Every other reform that is doing, let them implement one. Let them remove the clause that will make it ineffective, so that it will not come that 4 hours before the election, the INEC chairman can come up and say, we're not going to have this again, we're not going to have that again. Now look at it. Somebody from my state now, Taraba, you collect results, and then you enter transport, you go to Abuja, and then you wait. Look at the time, look at the resources that have been wasted. If we have to transmit these results electronically, before the collection officer from Taraba State will reach Abuja, these results are there already. All they will do is, behind the scene, they will compare the results he brought and then the one on the electronic gadget. And that makes things. So I think if they can do this one, people are talking about local government elections. Very, very fantastic. But let them I'm suggesting that let them start with this one. Let there be electronic transmission of results from the polling unit. And then when we are at that, then we can now begin to talk of other reforms. But if they can reform the election in the local government at the local government level, that would be fantastic. So I finally now want to thank trustees for giving us this opportunity to say our minds the way it is in our minds. My prayer is that they will not come up one day and say trustee is doing this, trustee is doing that, and so they will ban trustee. God is on your side. You will succeed. Nigeria will succeed. God bless you. Philip, from Janet Gosavan.
All right, thank
you
very
for
much,
calling in
Philip.
this morning. Okay, let's take another message from Nandi Bete in Ogoja. He says, on the issue of electoral reforms, the problem with Nigeria's electoral system is not the law, but the integrity of the electoral umpire to do the needful and the resolve of the politicians to obey the constitution of the country. Now, having said that, what one expects in the ongoing electoral reform is a provision for all electoral disputes to be resolved conclusively by the courts before those elected are sworn in. Also, there should be provision for independent candidacy, diaspora voting, and prosecution of electoral offenders. Trust TV, I sincerely appreciate your efforts in keeping on with the public discourse of critical issue affecting our country.
All right, that is all we have for this segment. Thank you to all our callers that called in and contributed to this segment. We'll be going on a quick break. When we come back, we'll be diving into our discussion segment, and we'll continue the discussion on election reform and with a deep analysis on key issues currently being considered. We'll be right back. Don't go away.